Welcome back to Global View. Southern Kaduna is bleeding, and what we are seeing right now is absolutely heartbreaking. Armed groups that people call bandits but are really terrorists have struck multiple communities in the region, killing 2 people and abducting 32 others, including an elderly sick woman, young children, and many innocent villagers. This is not just another news story. This is a tragedy unfolding in real time, and the details will shock you. The horror started on Monday night when these terrorists returned to Abduct village in Sanga Local Government Area and kidnapped an elderly woman named Mrs. Abduct along with her granddaughter. But here's what makes this story even more heartbreaking. This grandmother was sick and mourning the death of her son who had been killed just 2 days earlier on Saturday. The woman's son, Abduct, was murdered right in front of her eyes along with his wife and daughter. Can you imagine the pain of watching your child being killed and then just 48 hours later, while you are still grieving and sick, the same terrorists come back and kidnap you? This is the level of cruelty we are dealing with in southern Kaduna right now. But the attacks did not stop there. In 2 other local government areas, Kauru and Kajuru, bandits launched coordinated strikes that have left communities in absolute terror. In Ungwansaki Maro village in Kajuru, 15 villagers were kidnapped and most of them are minors. Think about that for a moment. These are children being dragged away from their families into the forest by armed men. In Kadage village in Kauru Council, about 16 people were abducted and 1 person was killed during the raid. A source from Kadage village revealed something even more disturbing. Over 100 of their kinsmen have been held captive by bandits between December 1, 2025 and January 4, 2026. That means for over a month, more than 100 people from just 1 village have been in the hands of these criminals. The pattern of violence in southern Kaduna has become so predictable and yet so devastating. Communities wake up to the sound of gunfire, families scatter into the bushes trying to escape, and by morning, they count their dead and missing. The terrorists arrive in large numbers, heavily armed with AK-47 rifles, and they show no mercy. They kill without hesitation, abduct whoever they want, and disappear back into the forests where security forces seem unable or unwilling to pursue them effectively. If you are finding this story as disturbing as it truly is, and you want to stay informed about what is happening in Nigeria, please hit that like button right now and subscribe to this channel. We bring you real news about real situations affecting real Nigerian families, and your subscription helps us continue this important work. The subscribe button is right there and it takes just 1 second to click. What makes the situation in southern Kaduna even more frustrating is that these attacks have been happening for years with very little improvement in security. The communities affected are not in some remote corner of Nigeria that nobody has heard of. These attacks are happening near major towns, near universities, near places where you would expect security presence to be strong. In fact, earlier attacks happened in Kachia town near the newly established Federal University of Applied Science. That is the headquarters of Kachia Local Government Area. If terrorists can strike with such boldness near a university and government headquarters, what does that say about the security situation? Residents of these communities have described the attacks as terrifying. They say they have suffered repeated assaults by armed groups despite being close to major institutions and security formations. The question many people are asking is, where are the security forces when these attacks happen? How can terrorists move in large numbers, attack multiple communities in one night, kill people, kidnap dozens, and then escape without being intercepted? These are questions that the federal and state governments need to answer urgently. The kidnapping industry in Nigeria has become a multi-million-dollar business for these criminals. They abduct people, hold them in forest camps, and demand huge ransoms from their families. The families, desperate to see their loved ones again, often have to sell everything they own to raise the ransom money. Even after paying, there is no guarantee that their family members will return alive or unharmed. Some victims spend weeks or months in captivity, suffering terrible conditions before they are released. Others are never seen again. Southern Kaduna has witnessed persistent attacks by bandits and gunmen in recent years. The residents have repeatedly called on the federal and state governments to strengthen security and protect vulnerable communities, but the attacks continue. The people feel abandoned and forgotten. They say that when they cry out for help, their voices echo in empty halls of power, where officials are more concerned with politics than with protecting lives. What is even more concerning is that as of the time this report was published, there was no official statement from the Kaduna State Police Command about these latest attacks. The silence from security agencies is deafening. While families are mourning their dead and praying for the safe return of their loved ones, the people who are supposed to protect them are saying nothing. This lack of communication only adds to the frustration and fear that residents are experiencing. The attacks in southern Kaduna are a part of a broader security crisis affecting many parts of northern Nigeria. States like Kaduna, Zamfara, Katsina, Niger, and others have become hotbeds of banditry, kidnapping, and terrorist violence. Armed groups have exploited the absence of robust security presence to terrorize communities, ambush travelers on highways, kidnap people for ransom, rustle cattle, and impose illegal taxes on farmers. The situation has gotten so bad that traveling on certain highways has become a nightmare for Nigerians. People pray before they embark on journeys because they know they might not make it to their destination alive. The human cost of this violence cannot be measured in numbers alone. Behind every statistic is a family torn apart, a child orphaned, a parent grieving, a community traumatized. The 32 people abducted in these latest attacks are not just numbers. They are mothers and fathers, sons and daughters, brothers and sisters. They have names, dreams, and families waiting desperately for their return. The 2 people killed had lives and futures that were violently cut short by senseless violence. Make sure you like this video and share it with your friends and family so more people can be aware of what is happening in southern Kaduna. Subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications so you never miss important updates about security situations across Nigeria. Drop your thoughts in the comments section. What do you think the government should do to stop these attacks? How can we protect vulnerable communities in southern Kaduna and other affected areas? Your voice matters and we want to hear from you. The situation in southern Kaduna demands urgent action from all levels of government. Security forces need better equipment, intelligence, and coordination to track down and eliminate these terrorist groups. Communities need protection, not empty promises. Families need their loved ones back safely. Nigeria cannot continue to lose its citizens to preventable violence while those in power remain silent or ineffective. The time for action is now, not tomorrow, not next week, but right now, before more innocent lives